showing you the operation and the use of this tool. We're going to be working on this Toyota 4Runner 2013. Real tight tolerances on the glass, so we're going to show you how this guy works today. Let's get started. So with this Toyota, what we're going to do is we're going to first start. We're going to remove the wipers, the cowling, so we can have access to the bottom of the glass here. We're going to actually remove some of this molding around the glass so that we can have access to work our FinalCut tool to cut this glass out. Alright, so at this point we've got the wipers off. Now we're going to get into this cowling, remove any clips, get that out of the way, and then we're going to be on to cutting some of that molding around the glass and getting access to the inside of the vehicle. So on this particular car, this glass that's currently installed has a heated bottom strip. That kind of keeps those wipers warm in the wintertime. You can see the wires coming out here. We're going to go ahead and disconnect that, get that out of the way, and we'll move forward. So after removing the cowling and the wipers, we're going to come inside the vehicle and get this mirror out of the way so we can freely cut this glass out. This guy isn't really secured with any sort of screw. It's just a press fit, so we'll get that guy off of there and get going. So now that we got our wipers off, our cowling off, we're going to start working on our molding around this vehicle so that we can run our cord or wire. Today we're going to actually be using our Gorilla cord. We're first going to give ourselves a little bit of access around the windshield. So I'm going to be cutting off part of this molding around the glass so that we have a good channel to put our Gorilla cord in. So now that we have access all the way around our glass, we've cut that molding out so we have a nice channel to lay our line in. We're going to be using our Gorilla cord again today. This product is a synthetic material that will cut out the urethane around this windshield. We're first going to start by creating an access point in this corner. So we're going to eventually string the line up around this glass. Our bottom driver's side corner is our access point. Now you can use this feeding tool, what we call our T-handle, to create that access point. Depending on how hard the urethane is, however, it's really nice to actually take a reciprocating power cutout knife if you have access along the bottom of the cowling here to actually pre-cut this corner. It makes your life a lot easier. And it allows you to feed the cord into the interior of the vehicle a whole lot easier. All right, so we're going to pre-cut this corner so that we can have access to bring our cord back into the car. We're going to use our 357 reciprocating cutout tool to do that. So I'm going to lubricate this corner and get this corner cut. So now that we've pre-cut this corner, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to bring one end of our line into the inside of the vehicle. We're going to connect it to our anchor block, which is going to hold that end of the line. And then we're going to come back outside the car and we're going to actually string up that cord all the way around the glass back to our starting point in this driver's side corner. And we're going to bring that second end of the line into the vehicle, which will get connected to the FinalCut tool. All right, so we're going to push our T-handle through where we pre-cut in that corner, and we're going to take our cord and connect it right onto that T-handle, and then we're going to bring that into the interior of the vehicle and grab that end of the line and we're going to pull the end of that line into the car so that we have access to that end. So this is going to be the end, the anchor end of our line. So this is our anchor wedge. This is what's going to hold this end of the line for us. We're going to be pushing the line through the skinny end of that rubber wedge. It'll come out the back end of that wedge. Then we're going to follow it through the hole in this knurled aluminum rod. Then we're going to wrap it around the rod there, suck it all in, and pull the slack out of this line. And now we're secure on that end of the line. We can go outside the vehicle and run that line all the way around the glass. Now that we have that anchor securing that end of the line, we're going to go ahead and take this guy and we're going to run it all the way around the glass underneath the windshield. We're going to go and start along that bottom edge, and then we're going to kind of progress this guy up this passenger A-pillar. You want this line as seated as possible around the glass. So we'll go up that passenger A-pillar and get that tucked in. Come down this driver's side A-pillar. Make sure we're as deep as possible on this. And we're kind of back to our starting point. Now you're going to want to bring enough line into the interior of the vehicle so that it can get connected to the tool. So what we're going to do is we're going to have it around this corner. We're going to bring enough line to bring it to the top of the car, and then we're going to bring enough line to bring it down to the bottom of the glass, and we're going to actually use that point to cut the line. Alright, so we're going to bring the other end of our cord inside the vehicle. We're going to start by creating a loop. Now we want to make that loop so we can put it on our T-handle that's going to pull this into the inside of the vehicle. We like to make our loop towards the end of the line as opposed to all the way up here. So we're going to start by doing that and bring that guy into the inside of the vehicle. And you're going to bring that in just to the, I guess, driver's side corner of the block. So we put the block closer to the passenger side, and we're going to bring this line in closer to the driver's side corner so that this line is free to cut up this A-pillar. Alright, so we're going to start by connecting our cord to the FinalCut tool. The way we do this is here at the end pulley, there's a little pin set right next to that pulley. We're going to slide that through that pin. And then that guy is going to come up through this hole in the tool here. Just like that. I'm going to grab that into the line. And then in the spool, in the back end of the tool, there's two holes there. We're going to string that line through one of those holes. And then it's going to come back through the other. Once we've got that all set up, what we're going to do is we're going to turn that tool around, and our first position is going to be up here in the driver upper corner. So we're going to go ahead and place that tool right up there, so where that pulley is, I don't know, an inch or two away from that corner. We're going to go ahead and seat that tool there. All right, now we're set up. We're going to roll up this slack, and you do want to have slack wound on this spool. So you want to have multiple wraps on this before the line gets taut. All right, with the FinalCut, it's a dual drive system, meaning that we can either operate it with a ratchet or you can plug a low speed, high torque drill onto the tool, either one. We tend to teach ratcheting through tough urethane or thick spots. Typically those are in the corners. And then if the urethane permits, running a drill through those straight edges to speed up your cutting time. So let's get started. As you can see, as we're going to progress up this A-pillar, we need to protect this interior garnish molding. We can do that by using this shield. So just a protection shield that will actually keep the line in between the glass, or the cord between the glass and the shield, as opposed to running it along that interior garnish molding. So use this as you see fit. Sometimes there's a lot of space here and it's not necessary. Along the dash it's used all the time. So we'll kind of get started with that. Again, another option, and everybody has these, if you've got a little chisel stick bone tool, that works great too, to kind of keep that line as tight as possible against the glass. Again, that's what you're going for. Another thing to think about is if this is the first replacement on the vehicle, a lot of times on Toyotas and some other vehicles, they have setting pins that are located 6 to 8 inches over on the top. When you get to those points, a lot of people like to take a little pinch weld scraper or a chisel and pre-pop those pins. If you are careful, the Gorilla Cord will do that for you. This, I believe, is a windshield that's already been replaced. We're probably not going to run into that issue on this vehicle. For the sake of the video, I'm going to try to use this bone tool so that you can kind of see the cutting process. So as you can see, that line is slowly starting to creep up that A-pillar there. We're going to go ahead and disconnect that ratchet. And stick a drill on this guy. And again, make sure that drill's running the right direction. And we're going to go ahead and start cutting up that A-pillar. Now if you feel anything, any snags or hang-ups, you want to stop, you want to go outside the vehicle, check to make sure your line is seated. That's an advantage of using the ratchet over the cord. You get a better feel for it, but you just need to be cognizant of that as you're cutting. we're getting close to that corner there. We're going to kind of slowly, we're going to take and put our ratchet back on the tool. And we're going to just kind of slowly creep that guy up and get as close to that corner as we can. When we get pretty close to that corner, we can go ahead and move our system over to the next corner. For this, I'm going to actually get a little closer to this corner, so I'm going to just reseat this just a hair. And to do that, we have a pawl system here, so to release that back drive, you notice that locks in place. It free spins if you use that pawl there. So we can bring that up closer to that corner. Reseat that tool there, and then go back into getting as close to that corner as we can. And we've kind of gotten through that corner, as you can see. So now we're going to go ahead and we're going to take this tool, we're going to move it from this driver's side corner over to that passenger side corner, and we'll do that by releasing the tension, taking it off the glass, and using our pawl to release that spool, which releases the cord. And we're going to go ahead and bring that over, you know, as far as you want. If you can't get all the way over to that corner, you can just position as close as you can get to that. We'll cut halfway across this, or you can kind of position it there, get in the passenger side, and get it all the way over into that corner. So we've taken the final cut. I've repositioned it all the way to that passenger upper corner at this point. So what we really are looking to do now is cut all the way across this headliner. I'm going to continue using just a chisel stick bone tool, but again, you also have GT Tools Shield if you wanted to use that as well. So the final cut has, on our drive shaft here, it can be operated from either side. That's to make it convenient depending on where you're at in the vehicle and where you're cutting. So we're going to operate from the opposite side than we were when we were in the driver's side corner. I'm going to start by just using that ratchet so we make sure that we cut through that corner. Looks like we've cut through that corner. So now we're going to go ahead and take our driver and run this guy with our drill. And again, you're always wanting to listen to the drill, kind of feel the line, make sure you're not going to bind up or your line's going to get caught on anything. We're getting closer across here. I'm feeling a little tension, so we're going to go ahead and put that ratchet on it, make sure we get through any hard spots there. Everything feels good. It's not binding. getting close to that corner. Once we get around that corner about to there, we're going to go ahead and reposition the tool down in the passenger bottom corner, and we'll cut down that A-pillar. So we'll go ahead and release that cup. Again, unspool some of our cord, get it down to that bottom corner as far as you can. And then we're going to go ahead and get that guy sucked to the glass just like that. And we're ready for our next position to get cut. So we've repositioned the tool from that top passenger corner down to the bottom passenger corner. Now you notice how, I didn't mention this earlier, but you notice how sharp this cutting angle is. We do that on purpose because that relieves the tension on the line. The sharper the angle, the easier it is to cut. So we're going to start by using the ratchet again to cut through that corner, make sure we get through it, and then depending on how that goes, we may put our drill driver on it to run it down to that next corner. All right, we're through that corner. Get the drill on this guy. Got down there close to that corner, we'll stick the ratchet back on it and we'll get through that guy. All right, we're close to that corner now. We'll go ahead and stop here, reposition the tool back to our anchor block, which is in the driver side corner, and we'll cut across this dash and get this windshield out. So now we're back almost to our anchor block. We're going to just continue to cut, and that anchor block will suck the line out and will be completely cut out on this glass. And we're out. All right, so we've got that glass completely cut out. Benefit of this tool is that we have no body damage around this pinch weld. So we'll go about prepping this pinch weld and get a new piece of glass in. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, you can reach us at gtglass.com or call us. Thanks.